Hello, today I'm sharing how I made my embellishments with my simple vintage Berry Fields knockoff kit. I'm going to talk you through some of the embellishments I've made. These include layered tags, 6x6 pocket cards, and layered texture and border embellishments. I also made some gorgeous pattern paper background, which I will show you. So keep watching to see not only how I created the embellishments, but how I used them in 4 different scrapbook layouts. If you haven't seen my knockoff kit, you can view that on my channel. I'll leave a link at the end of the video and in the descriptions. So let's have a look at some of the tags I made. So if you remember in the original papers, there is one paper that is completely tags. So I've used this as inspiration, and in some cases I've almost copied it, but in others I've just used elements that have inspired me to create my own. So there's a few here, but make sure you check out all the photos I include in the video so you can see the full range. So for instance, we've got this one here with the blue rooster, and this is my version of that one. So I've just used the papers from my kit that I made up and some stamped images to come up with my own tag that's similar to that one. There is also a BU tag, and I had to go making that with some stamps. Really simple, just use the similar background paper and then some text letters, which I liked, to stamp the BU in red. And then I have stamped a few bees on here and actually a little flower there as well. If you wanted to make it more like their one, you might even colour in your bees and make them more black and yellow so they stand out a bit more. I chose not to do that. And then I've made just some ones that will go with the collection. So I had this little jar and strawberries that's cut from a piece of pattern paper, and I've done some stamped images, and it works beautifully with the range of original papers and tags. There is another one here that is very similar to one of the ones in the collection. So we've got this one in the collection that has a yellow check, a little bordered word on there. It says simplify, and some flowers. So here's my version that I used. This is a stamp detail. This is the Tim Holtz floral die cut set, which is amazing. I've used it several times now, and a bit of stamped foliage in the background. Really simple and easy to do. You can pull in anything from your own copycat or knockoff kit, whatever you're caring to call it. I created this one, which is also based on one of the tags. You will see that I've included quite a few of my tags on the finished layouts. These are the ones that are left over that I haven't used on the layouts. So the original collection also has some pattern paper that has 6x4s. And some pattern paper that has 3x4s and other size shapes. So if you have a look, there's some little 3x3s, 4x4s, etc. in the pattern papers. This one is my interpretation of this 6. It had strawberries and foliage and flowers in the right hand side. I've just stamped on some flowers. They are not strawberry flowers. I just put in some lovely green stamped foliage and some stamped flowers in the corner there and coloured them red to get the same sort of mood and feel. I had this sticker from an old Kaiser Craft collection, and their paper has this distress stamped area on it, and I decided not to distress this. I could have done that, but I decided no, I'm just going to use a similar color of the stamped numbers image there and stamp that in. So that's my interpretation. I also created this one, which was my interpretation of this. So I've got the mood and feel of this mason jar one with the round letters. I've used 2 small mason jars, and I have used some black and cream style letters. So they put homegrown on theirs. I've put homegrown on mine. I've used a wooden paper background, and they've used a wooden paper background. They have filled their lovely mason jar, and I do love that, but I didn't have a stamp that I could use. They filled it with the beautiful strawberry paper that's in the collection. So mine's got tomatoes and beans. I'll be able to use this in something though for one of my gardening layouts. The other one that I attempted to do was this one, based on this one, and you'll see that on one of my layouts. The original collection also has some layered embellishments for you to use. So I created a few of my own. Here is one of them. The others I've actually already put onto layouts. Oh, here's another one here where I've layered it up. So I just used similar elements. So this one had a circle design. I used a doily instead. I've used a little strawberry that I cut out from some papers. I've used my fake die cut Tim Holtz flowers to replace the strawberry flowers in that, and I've added a few bits and pieces. So we've got a bit of a frame here. I cut out this tag from a piece of pattern paper, and I've used a sticker that was from an old Kaiser Craft collection, and I also stamped on top of the doily just to add a bit more interest to it. This one is using a 3x4 card that I cut from a piece of the paper, and I've just layered on some more paper, stamping as I go. Included a cutout tag. This is a stamp strip that I've distressed the edges with some distress ink. This is stamped and I've distressed that, and this was a little mason jar that I cut out from some pattern paper that's part of my collection. In the original collection, there is a quilted pattern paper. So I had a go trying to make my own using scraps that I had in my knockoff kit. You can see that I've used similar colours in the paper, and then for the stitching, because in the original it has white stitching on parts of it, zigzag stitching on there, I found some old rub-ons that I had, and they were red. I didn't have any white, so I used some red, and I've added those to the quilted background. It's turned out quite well. Looks quite good, just using the fake rub-on stitching. If you didn't have any rub-ons like this, you could of course hand stitch it yourself, or you could draw it in with a pen and you would still get a great effect. Here you can see one of my 6x6s that I added to this layout. I've also added a layered 3x4 card that I created with this one, and some little stamped embellishments. So this one is called Market Day. On the page 2, I've done another layered 3x4 card. So on these elements that I've added in the background here, these labels and tickets are all hand stamped. They are also using some Tim Holtz stamps. And of course I did one of these little blue chickens, which I distressed blue with some distress ink. And then I made a simple tag for the background, which was stamped with some black ink. And the mason jar is cut out from a piece of paper. So there we go. Have a good look at it in the next few photos, because I can't quite fit it on the screen. Okay, and then number 3 is this one. So number 3 is hot chili plum sauce. At the moment, we've got lots of produce ready where I live. My husband has a bit of an orchard happening. We have a big veggie garden. So a lot of these layouts are about preserving the produce that he has grown. In this particular one, I am once again using one of the layered embellishments. So in this case, I've included a tag. This tag was cut out from some paper. This is a little bit of a border frame that I added there to make it a bit more interesting and a bit of pop of red. Some more homemade flowers made with the Tim Holtz die cut. Some stickers and a rooster. And then down the corner here, I've kept it simple with a sticker that was from Kaiser Craft, more die cut flowers, and another little blue chicken. I quite like it. All of these layouts that I've done have been inspired by some of the page maps designs, in particular from January 23, if you're interested in making your own. So layout number 4 is all about pickles. So we had a huge crop of cucumbers this year, so I was trying to come up with different ways to use them. So we did the slice McDonald's style pickles. We made some piccali, I think it's called, where you have the cauliflower and the pickle in there. And we also did these big wedges of pickle. So here we go on this one with the embellishments. I've used this beautiful little tag that I made. I really like this one. It's so cute with the doily on here. I've stamped on the doily. We've got more of our handmade flower embellishments. We've got more blue chickens and just a little sticker that I've added. I've added a couple of quote stickers in here. This tag, of course, is also made to get that same mood and feel. It's a quilted style tag. There is one on the actual collection page that you can cut out if you've got that. And then I've just done this cute little yummy pickles down the bottom title here. So there we go. Those are the 4 made using the embellishments. This one, I think I showed you last time, is the one that I made where I created the background paper. If you haven't gone and watched the video about how to do that yourself, go and have a look at it. I also on this one used a whole heap of these flower die cuts. I just love these. I'm going to be making lots of these and using lots of these in the future, because every time you choose different colors to make them in, it's creating a whole new look. And you can even make them really vintage by inking them up. If you haven't seen how to do that, there's several ladies online that will show you the steps of creating them just like they look on the cover of the die cuts. Okay, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching and keeping up with what I've been doing with my knockoff kit. Please do subscribe, because then you'll get to see all the different things that I try to do